Hi friends, welcome to Through the Wardrobe Knits. This is episode 4 of my knitting podcast and I am Selena, the dyer behind Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. You can find me on social media at Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co, both on Instagram and on Facebook. And so that's it. We're going to jump straight in. It's going to be a bit of a shorter one today because I haven't been feeling too well. I've been very busy, so I haven't had a lot of knitting time. Also, this is the second time I'm filming this because the first time my phone decided to die midway through. So let's just go for it. We have a very hat heavy episode today. Excuse me. First hat that I finished, I talked about last week. This is the Oslo Lua by Petite Knit, and I had tried to knit one before. I ended up knitting it far too big, and so I tried again using Chromatic Yarns, A Gift for Lolth, which is this lovely glittery yarn. It's got Berets in it, and I held it together with some mohair by Gord's Faglia, and it is lovely. It fits, which is always a win. Fits my 4-year-old perfectly. I did modify the brim. The original brim is quite a bit higher, but I like it with a bit of a shorter brim. It does sort of roll out a bit, so I am thinking of perhaps sort of just adding a couple of stitches on the inside here to keep the brim down. But yeah, it's a great hat. She loves it so far. Our weather has been kind of up and down, just a little bit heading towards spring, but not quite. So this is a really good, like, warm enough that if we get a random snowstorm, she's good. But also when it's, you know, plus degrees, she's not like sweating. So yeah, we love to see it. She loves to wear it. I'm happy it's finished. I really enjoy knitting this pattern actually, and I've got quite a bit of yarn left over, so I am thinking about doing the smaller size. This is the child junior size, and it is a little on the large side, not massively. It fits her well, but it's not like stretched over her head. But it's a baby size, which I'm going to try for my 2-year-old, so they can be matching, and that will be cute. Let's move on. So last week I was ill with you know what, and I was really struggling to knit anything, but I still wanted to knit. But all my projects were either too big or too small. Like, I have got a pair of socks that I was working on, and I just was like, I can't deal with this right now. I wanted something really simple but engaging enough that I wasn't bored, that I could kind of do while I was on the sofa watching TV, etc. So I saw this hat, this beret, on another vlog. Can't remember what it's called. The lady who does it, I think her name is Gaynor, and she had knit one. I think she actually knit 2, and I was like, oh, I quite fancy. I've got a couple of berets that I wear. I was like, oh, maybe I'll knit one for myself. I know that Aro Knits and House has knit one like relatively recently, and I was like, yeah, I feel like the universe is telling me knit yourself a beret. So I picked this pattern by Sari Nordland, who, I mean, she's an amazing designer. She, like, everything she does is wonderful. This is called the Biz Beret, and I really like it. I knit it quite small because I have quite a small, flat back of my head, and I didn't want it to be too kind of big and uncomfortable. It's just really cute, and it sits on nicely. I don't know if it's going to be like great for like keeping my head warm particularly, but it's a cute accessory. So in her pattern she has 2 versions that you can knit. There's a fingering and a mohair version, a sport weight and a mohair version, and they're knit on slightly different needle sizes. So this is the fingering and mohair size, which I knit on a 3.5 needle, I think. It's got this cute little I-cord bibble, I don't know what it's called, and then it's just got these really nice increases, and it was so nice because it's like an increase round, knit round, increase round, knit round for the majority of the pattern. And so I was able to just sit and knit and knit and knit. And I knit this in 2 sessions. So I started knitting it one evening, I got to like almost to the end. The next evening, finished it up, including a little I-cord bind off. I knit this one, hint of what's coming next, this one in a mitten kit that I had from Dandelions and Dogwood, who, if I'm correct, Dandelions and Dogwood is the yarn company of Amy Loudon, who designed the Whitmore sweater. And she had also designed a mitten pattern, I think last year, and I was like, oh, I really want to knit that. And I bought the yarn and I forgot to knit the pattern. It might have been 2 years ago actually. I didn't get around to knitting the pattern, but the yarn was so pretty, I thought, I need a pale pink beret. So the yarn is called Emily Gilmore, and it's a fingering sock, so merino sock and a mohair silk. And I really like, even if it does have a slight kind of boob, a bit of a boob feel when you're knitting it before it's like blocked out, it definitely has kind of like a Madonna bra vibe. But once it's blocked, which I blocked over a plate and a bowl, I really like it. And in fact I liked it so much that I thought, oh, I want to knit one in my own yarn to use as a market sample, because I've got quite a few markets coming up, and I thought, oh, I'll do the sport weight version because I've got some sport weight yarn that I frogged a couple of videos ago, but I didn't pay attention to the pattern and I didn't notice it said hold sport weight with mohair, so I just knit it in sport weight on a 4mm needle. So what I got was a very floppy version. I still really love it. You can really see the increases on this one. I knit it using Dream of Candy Unicorns, which is by far my most popular colour and so perfect for spring. And I actually, even though it is very floppy, it's not very structured comparatively. Like this one, you can see how it holds like a lot more kind of structure. I still really like it, and because it's bigger, because it's kind of looser, it's, yeah, I'm still chuffed. And again, it was a 2 evening knit. I did both of these in the same week. I think I started this one on the 22nd and I finished this one on the 25th. So I literally just was like, I still cannot focus on any other whips right now, even though I've got test knits that I'm doing. I was like, I just want to knit berets. And I did, and I really like it. I am thinking that I might, because I've got so much of this sport weight yarn, and even though I do have a sweater pattern that I want to do with it, I'm still going to have a lot left over. So I am considering doing one as her pattern suggested and holding it with some mohair or maybe some suri, but I think this is still really nice. I think actually this is a really good one because it still has, you can still see its shape. Again, I blocked it over a plate just overnight. I think this is a really nice sort of spring one because it's just loose and airy, and yeah, if you're looking for a beret pattern, I cannot recommend this one enough. Like, I guarantee I will knit another version. I'm thinking, because I didn't do the entire number of decrease rounds because of small head, and I think for this version I probably could have done, or I could have done one more decrease round to make it a little bit tighter. But either way, I'm happy with it. So if you're going to be in Bergen at the markets this weekend or in Stavanger next month when you want to come and have a look at it up close, you can, because it'll be on my stall. And that is it for finished objects. I really, as you know, hoped that I would be finished with my Stria cardigan. I'm still on the decreases for the first sleeve. I do not understand why it is taking me so long. but it is. I knit on it regularly. Even when I was ill, I did knit on it a little bit. I just can't seem to get past the decrease. I'm trying to get to 60 stitches, and I think I'm on 68 now. So a couple more decrease rounds, and then I'll just knit to the cuff, and then we have to start all over again with the other sleeve. But we're almost at the home straight, almost. And I do have my Go Gently cardigan test knit for Amy Share, which I haven't done much on because I found knitting with Surrey was making my chest very wheezy last week, and so I haven't really picked it up. But the deadline is in April, so I will be picking that one back up. And I'm working on another test knit. I said I'm not going to do any more test knits, and then I signed up for like so many test knits, or I just agree to them because I can't say no. And this one's a secret. I can't show you. I'm really disappointed I can't because it's gorgeous, but I did dye up a yarn colour especially for it. Oh, it's just looking kind of whitish, but it's not. It's a grey purple that leans, oh, you can't see that at all, leans kind of pink purple, which I am actually knitting in a non-superwash base, which if you know me is like a huge deal. And actually, I don't know if you can see this, my skin just goosebumped because I've got really sensitive hands today. But generally I've been knitting with this and I haven't had any problems with it. It's been really soft. It doesn't make my skin do this. But today apparently it does. It's really nice. If you are coming to markets over the next couple of months, I'm going to have a bit more non-superwash available. It's an ultra fine non-superwash. Like the microns are, I think it's 20 microns, so it is like, I can do this with no problem. It's very soft, it's skin soft, and yeah, I can't wait to show you what I'm knitting with it, but I don't think I can show you until like autumn. So I'll just have to keep telling you about how wonderful it is, and I'll probably have to knit something else in this colourway, I think. There we go. Okay, yes, look, what whips can I show you? The first whip I can show you is also a test knit. First of all, I just wanted to show you this, I love it. This is my little DPN holder by Fletcher. You see little, that's her little logo. It's got my name on it. I love it. She's a good friend of mine, and she gave this to me for free, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure she did. And I use it all the time, especially now that I've started using DPNs on the regs for socks. So this sock pattern, I'll try and stretch it so you can really see it, is called the Liesa. It is inspired by the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. What a name, by the way. Like, I mean, I feel like you have to be an author or something with a surname like Armentrout. I love it. Anyway, the new book in the series is coming out, I want to say March 14th or March 15th, around that time. And Backward Knits has designed this little sock, and we are both in a read along chat group for the book, or for the series. And so she mentioned that she was having a test knit, and I just thought, oh yes. And she's done hers in a gorgeous yellow colour with like grey contrast, but I thought, you know what, it's spring, I'm in the mood, let's knit some more Dream of Candy Unicorns. I wanted to just show you this colour, depending on the base and like how the distribution is, can look really pink or really not, like really like not pink, white with speckles. But yeah, this one looks very pink and I really like it. I've just got onto the heel. It's a heel I've not done before. It's got like a funny edge. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Oh. But I've just started heel today and I haven't actually checked that I'm doing it right. I could be doing it totally wrong. But I really like it. The lace is super intuitive. I started the lace yesterday because it's just a shorty sock, so I'm already on the heel. I started the lace yesterday and yeah, I really like it. I love this little kind of wavy pattern that will like continue down the sock. The cuff is sparkle sock, as I've said before. I love a little sparkle moment in my socks, and this is on the colour Iced Mint Tea, and this is Dreaming of Candy Unicorns. They are both my yarn colours, and yeah, really excited about this. I'm back on my sock groove, I think. So I think I'll finish that in time. We're only required to finish one on time, but I'm going to try and have a pair. I'm trying not to let myself just knit single socks because it is a bit ridiculous. I don't wear mismatch hand knit socks, and so I just have a bunch of singular socks. Like I've got one here. I knit this from my sock vent, and I haven't knit the other one. I'm not 100% sure what the yarn is, and I'm just like, stop knitting single socks, Lena. So that is that. Hopefully the next time I record a podcast, I'll have a finished object of socks. Just going to chuck them in front of me. And the other whip I can show you, this is a long-term whip, and I just want to show you the bag first. But this bag, I really love it. A friend and customer, Yorid, made this for me because last year I had a mystery yarn club. I have one this year too, and last year's theme was like classic children's literature, and one of the months I did Paddington, and she made me a Paddington bag. I love it. So it's a really nice little drawstring with a little bead, and it keeps it really, oh, must have loosened up, but usually it stays really well and keeps it all together. Although this project generally sits just next to my sofa, so it doesn't really need, I don't take it around to different places with me. So this is the beginnings of my Habitation throw. The pattern is by Helen Stewart, Curious Handmade, who, just side note, if you want to get into knitting socks and you're like, oh, I don't know, and maybe you want to knit some like lacy socks and you just want to jump in, her patterns, hands down, in my opinion, are the best ones to go for, because she lists each and every instruction in like a checklist. So if it says, you know, I can kind of show you with this pattern, because she does all of the patterns like this. So she has like each row, and for some people like it's not their thing, but for me, especially for knitting socks, she was the first socks I ever knit. It's great because you just follow the instruction, tick it off, follow the instruction, tick it off. And she has the same for this throw. I can show you her little image of it. So this is like semi-designed for advents, and I am using my 2022 Yarn Club colours. One of the things that I did this year, which I haven't done before, was give a mini club option where you can, it's cheaper than the main option, and you get 2 mini skeins a month. One of them is the main mystery club colour, so you still get the same as everyone else, and then you also get a tonal or a complementary colour that goes with it. Just pop that back over here. And I'm using the mini club to knit a throw. So this is January, which was Cinderella. Each month is inspired by the Brothers Grimm fairy tales. I really enjoy them. And so this month is Cinderella. Not this month, January was Cinderella. And this was the main colour, and this was the tonal. Really happy with this blue. It was inspired by these grey blue pumpkins, and I worked for ages to get the colour, and even though it's showing up mega blue on the camera, it's actually a bit more muted. And then once you can't see it, I'm going to tell you, I'm doing 3 eyelets and then 1 transition eyelet for each colour. So I've got 1, 2, and then I'll have another one in this colour, and then the next eyelet will transition over to the February colours, which are here. February was inspired by Hansel and Gretel, and I wanted kind of like moody woods. So this is the main colour. I have to show you, but I'll show you again. So this was the main colour, which is this one, and then this was the tonal, which is this one, and they look quite similar, but one is heavily variegated and the other one isn't. So when they're knit up, they'll look quite different. And what I'm really pleased with is I took some of the colours from this one into this one and kind of see some kind of bluish tones. So hopefully when they're knit together, it won't be a fade or anything, but it'll be kind of a more natural transition. So it's going to be like this, I think. So we'll go into this green, and then March's one, which I've just had on sale, and is actually still on sale. I haven't figured, I haven't taken it down yet because I've got a little while before I'm going to start dyeing it, is the Frog Prince. So again, still in the greens family, but not as dark and moody. And I'm going to be adding each month as I dye them, and then in December I should have like a really nice sized throw which I can keep in my office, and it'll be like a little memory blanket. This is also my kind of entry into the Skeins of Dreams Blankets of Dreams make along. Maker, who has the podcast Skeins of Dreams, is doing one where you can, it's run I think for the entire year, and it's just like make a blanket, quilt one, crochet one, knit one, whatever you want to do, weave one I suppose. And that's it. And so I will link to her video where she talks about all the hashtags to use and stuff. But if you're thinking, oh, I quite fancy casting a little blanket on or whatever, it's a nice little way to sort of do it as a community. And I am contributing a prize, which is why when I said entry, because I'm not actually going to enter mine, but I want to join in. I am contributing a prize. We haven't fully decided, but I do have a sneaky idea of what it's going to be, and I'm sure when we've confirmed she will tell you. And that is basically it for the whips. Obviously I'm working on my cardigans slowly. Hopefully in the next episode I will be able to show them to you and I'll be much further along. Maybe I'll have a whole sleeve done on my strier. Touch wood. You never know. It could happen. Could. But now I have two more things. Yarn acquisitions, which is surprisingly small for me. And then I'm going to do a bit of shop news and show you some new colours and hopefully get your input on some names. But we'll get to that. Let's not jump too far ahead. Let me show you my yarn acquisitions. As you know, I'm getting some yarn clubs this year, and that's basically what the acquisitions are, pretty much. So, first one, I was really disappointed I didn't have this to show you for the last one, because this is my January yarn club from Paisley Knits, and it's just, I saw this because I live abroad compared to most people who got it. I saw it like much earlier before I received it, and I have to say the colours, the pictures didn't do it justice at all. I thought it was way more grey, and I still liked it, but the colours in this, Nicole the dyer like leans heavily towards kind of like teals and blues and greens, and I really love this. I had initially like very much planned that it was going to be socks and it was going to go on my little sock basket, but I think I want it to be something else. I need to find a one skein project, like maybe like a little bralette. I don't know if one skein's enough for a bralette for me, to be honest, but yeah, I really like this. The next one, they're all based on Greek mythology, which seems to be the theme for me this year. So this one's Zeus, and the next one that's coming is, oh, I can't remember actually. Dionysus? I don't know. It's like a purpley one, I think. I haven't seen it yet. But from her mood boards, it's going to be kind of purpley. And then I've also seen her March mood board. But I can't remember exactly who, which god it's going to be. But I'm convinced that it's going to be beautiful. And now I'm super excited. So that was that one. The next one I received was from Skein and the Stitch. I received this yesterday, Jess, and this one is also inspired by mythology. This is the Titans, and I love that she sent, sent like a little card with it. She did with the other one too, but I couldn't find it. Which has like the inspiration, and she's told me like who the god or the goddess is, Tethys, which is goddess of freshwater, and a little bit about like the mythology, which for me, someone who loves mythology, I was like, yeah, I love this. And look at this. I mean, I'll just take off this band. This one I got in classic socks. It's 25, 75, 25. Look at that. I mean, oof. So I had been thinking I wanted to do a project with them together, but I'm not sure what. So I thought I would ask. I would crowdsource. So this is the February one. This is the January one. And they don't like, they're not like a fade or anything, and they're not going to be a fade. But I do still kind of want to work them in something together. I don't know if they're maybe two different, I'm not sure. But I really liked them. This is Oceanus and this is Tethys, and I just, oh, they're really nice. What should I do with these? They could just be socks, and that would be fine. But I feel like I want something like more than just socks, you know? So, if you've got an idea of what I could do with these, please let me know. Put it in a comment, because I feel like they just would be, I think they'd be interesting together, because they're not like a fade, but they do kind of complement each other quite nicely. And in that vein of thought, I also got my Nature in Macro Club, and again, I love this. I might have to adapt this idea of sending like the inspiration. This one is from the Yarn Addict Co, Lauren, and this one is called Cedar Berries. Put that back down so I can show it to you properly. And again, absolutely gorgeous. Lauren does these amazing like deep dark colours. Now I don't wear a lot of deep dark colours, but again I kind of want to do something. I'm not sure if these ones are going to go so well together. I kind of want to do something with them too. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with them. I mean, I will knit deep coloured socks and stuff. But I just feel like there would be, I kind of feel like there's an interesting project in these, because there are like pops of these browns which match. And I could just do kind of a blanket or something. But if you've got any ideas for this pairing and this pairing, please do let me know. And I want to say that's it, but it's not quite. This is a Blame Georgie of the Fibre Fox moment. So I received this. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Let me think. Who was it? When everyone was showing off their advents, I think it actually might have been Paisley Knits, had this gorgeous, gorgeous advent called the Hades and Persephone advent. Again, Greek myths following me everywhere lately. By Artemis Yarns, and I had never ever heard of this dyer. I'd never seen her yarn, and I was obsessed. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god. I mean, I loved the advent I had, so it's not like I wanted to swap it, but I was like, oh, what? I want this. I mean, I'm just gonna start showing you some of these minis. So they're so me. And so I went onto her site, and she's in France, and I was like, what? She's a European dyer? And I didn't know about her. And so I was like, oh, I'm really sad, and maybe next year, maybe next year I'll do, sorry, dropping them. Maybe next year I'll get her advent, you know. And then I saw she was selling a half advent. So I think it's a half advent, right? No. It's probably a full advent. She was selling, no, I feel like this has to be a, I'm not sure. I have to look this up. I haven't got enough hands. I'm going to put a picture here from her Instagram of the full advent. I saw it, I saw she was selling it, but obviously advents are quite pricey, and I didn't have any kind of project in mind. And so I just sort of resigned myself to just looking, I'm just going to keep pulling these out, looking at this gorgeous advent and thinking maybe next year she'll do another one and I'll get that one. And then I was talking to Georgie, Fiber Fox, and she goes, look what I've just got. And bear in mind, we hadn't discussed this diet or anything prior to this. She just sent me a picture, like, I've just received this in the post. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you bought one. Because she had this. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. And within 5 minutes, I had ordered one for myself. I'd already spoken to the dyer. I'd asked, like, oh, is this going to be permanent? You know, when are you closing this order? Is it a pre-order? And she was like, no, I've just dyed up X amount. Once they're gone, they're gone. And I was like, oh, okay. So here we go. I'm just gonna 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 13, I think, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so it is a half advent. It's 13 skeins. And they didn't come, they came like beautifully wrapped in like tissue paper. This design is so gorgeous. But of course I opened it and they immediately fell out of order, and I haven't quite figured out the order. I love it. These purples and these are really, I mean, this dark blue, which is called Nemesis. Oh, I just love it. And some of these, because I love a purple. Musa, which doesn't work in Norwegian, but gorgeous. Persephone, obviously. Love, love, love. Arcadia. I mean, actually, I think I want like, I hope she does full skeins because I want a full skein of this. Gorgeous, gorgeousness, gorgeousness. This is Lyre or Lyra, Lyre? I think it's Lyre. Lyre. Lyre, like the musical instrument, right? Anyway, beautiful, beautiful. Heavily influenced by Georgie. It's all her fault. I won't tell you how much customs cost me, but by something called Celebration. I'm going to just show you. I won't show you all of them because I've gotten distracted now. Aquarius. So, again, I'm crowdsourcing for me and Georgie because we've been talking about what are we going to do? What are we going to do with these gorgeous advents? Because I said, like, what's your plan? So I don't have a plan. They are kind of a fade. It doesn't look like it here, but they go from like lighter to these really dark, almost like black. What's this one? Arachme. I'm not sure that's how you say it. And so I do want to put them in some kind of project. I think I want a garment of some kind. Ooh. Oh no, that's got a bit stuck. We'd been talking about doing like a sorrel fade, but I actually think she's going to do that. I mean, I can do one myself, but I'm not sure because I think I would want it to fade from light to dark, and then I would not have enough for a full sweater or anything. So anyway, I'm just gonna put these. I have a little bag here where I'm keeping them until I can figure out a better way to store them. If you've got any great kind of advent patterns, well, not really advent patterns actually, but like garment patterns that you can use a fade in, and potentially, what's this one? Have I shown this one already? Fresh water. Look at that. Yeah, got any suggestions? Let me know. I'm always open to them. So that is it. I was influenced. Blame Georgie. Now, this is where I'm going to talk about stuff from my own shop that I've dyed up recently, and some shop news, because I've started stocking some new things. So I'm going to just show you first of all these, which I am low-key obsessed with. I ordered a bunch, and of course, so typical, only one size arrived in my first order. I've started stocking Liquor Blush DPNs. I'm not planning on stocking like the whole Liquor range because there's quite a few other shops that do that, but I hadn't found the blush DPNs anywhere, and I wanted them for myself, to be truthful, and so I thought I'll stock them. There are other pink sock knitters who love this kind of stuff. So this is actually only a 3.5mm that I have available right now, but I have a whole host of sizes on their way, so they will be available as soon as they arrive. I'll pop them here so I don't lose them. But I've also decided to start stocking my absolute favourite needle brand, which is Chaogu. I think that's how you say it. So I have started stocking some fixed circulars. So far I've only got a couple of, I've got 60cm and 40cm wires on the fixed, but I will be having different sizes when the next order comes in. And I've got these in a bunch of different sizes, 3.25, 3.5. If you're coming to the Stricken Market in Bergen this weekend being the 5th and 6th of March, I am having a special offer on fixed circulars. They will be 150 kronas each, just at the market. Usually they're a bit more depending on needle size, but that'll be across the board. And I'm also stocking the ones that I use more than fixed circulars, which is interchangeable. So I've got a whole host of wire sizes, from teeny tiny ones up to pretty long ones, and then I've got a bunch of needle sizes as well. And again, I've got more coming, and these aren't on the website yet. I'm going to put them up on probably Monday or Tuesday next week. So that's the first order of business, because I will forget to tell people. But if you're looking for needles, especially like sock size needles, they're the ones that I personally find a bit more difficult to find in Norway, like the 2.25 sizes. So I thought I would just start them myself. And then I've got some yarn to show you. Where should we start? Let's start here. So I've been dyeing up for festivals coming up. Oh, let's not have you. And I've been using kind of my extra yarn, like yarn that I'm not necessarily going to continue stocking the whole time. Obviously these are going to go to the market first, but if they don't sell at the market, they'll be on the website next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And this one I just want to show you, because I've dyed this before, but I've never shown it before, other than I think in Instagram stories. This is a camel silk blend. It's 50% camel, 50% silk, mulberry silk, like ethically sourced, I guess. I don't know how to say that. This is Magician's Book, and it's so nice. Like, this would be absolutely gorgeous in a shawl or something. Like the way the colour takes onto, and you see these kind of, you get these large colours, but when they knit up they'll be quite small. And there's some just like gorgeous yellows and greens, and yeah, love that. If you haven't already seen this colourway, I've had it for a while, but I don't always dye it up. This is what it looks like on like a regular skein. Again, like very, you can see this on the same pan, very bright in your face, lots of colour blending. This tends, do I have something to hand? No. This always looks really intense in the skein, but it knits up kind of like speckles. So you, especially if you hold it together with like a plain colour. So I've got this on, actually maybe I don't have one to hand. If it's on like a fluffy base and you knit it with like a yellow or a white, it looks totally different to if you just knit it up like this. But I love it. It's really great fun. We're very much leaning into the spring colours here at Through the Wardrobe & Co right now. So even though I'm dyeing up a ton of these kind of darker shades, I'm really loving dyeing up kind of more bright ones. So this is Magician's Book. And any that's not sold at the market this weekend will be up on the website next week. Next up is a new colourway. I've been working on this kind of for a while. I wanted something that was similar to my Morganite colour, but more pink, because Morganite is very much like in the sort of orangish vein. So this is called Rose Blush, and as you can see, it does still have some slight sort of peachy tones, but it definitely has some really nice pinks. This is on Sparkle Sock, or Star-Crossed Sparkle Sock, which I really like. I think this is the only base I've got it currently dyed up on, but I am going to do it on Merino 4-ply and Sport, and probably GK as well when I get a chance. This one is 80% superwash merino, 10% nylon, 5% stellina sparkle. And really, if you want to knit yourself a little pair of spring socks, this is the colour to do it. So I've got some of them, and again, mark it first, then they'll be on the website. What else do I have? Oh yes, so this is a colourway that I have never officially released before, because it was from my sock advent thing I did. And it is kind of, it looks almost like it's going to be the same as this, but it's much brighter. It's actually this colourway. See, the pinks and the blues are significantly brighter than Dreamy Penny Unicorns. This is called Sugar Cookie. You can see some really nice bright blues and pinks and purples. So the green, just really love this one. And I've got this is Fairy Tale Sock, which is 75% merino, 25 nylon, but I've also got it on Polworth, which I'll talk a little bit in a minute. Polworth Sport merino, I think. So yeah, Polworth, by the way, I know some people had asked me recently, this is on Polworth, is a yarn that I had a lot of, and then I had some supply issues, and now my supplier has more, but I haven't ordered more yet. So I'm just using up what I've got left over. Polworth is 100% wool. I have a superwash version, and it's a New Zealand breed, and they have kind of a longer staple than merino, so it feels a bit different. It's not super rustic, like I can touch it with no problem, but it's not as like bouncy as merino, and it is a bit more hard wearing. So I have a couple of customers who've knit socks with no nylon, and they wear them all the time, and they've held up really well. It's quite hard to see, but it's got a natural sheen to the wool, which is really nice for like knitting shawls, because it does have a bit of a drape naturally. It also doesn't pill. I'm not sure if this is like one of its attributes, but just from my own like experience, I can't see the Whitmore cardigan that I had in episode 3, which also has Suri with it. It hasn't pilled at all, and all of my merino cardigans have pilling, but this one doesn't. So this one is Magician's Book, as I've said, but I've also got some in Sugar Cookie, and I think one other colourway I've got. This is a DK. You can see it's from a different supplier, so the length is quite different. But if you're looking to sort of try a different wool that's not as like hardy as like a BFL or another more rustic sock, but isn't as sort of soft and floofy as merino, then Polworth is a really good alternative. And pretty much everyone I know who's tried it likes it, but I guess it's quite hard to buy a new yarn without giving it a good squish. Anywho, moving swiftly on, I'm not trying to do this without dropping everything. Nope. So this colourway I am bringing back. This is called Diggory. It's one of my earliest colourways, and I loves it. I do have a bit of a problem, it's not very consistent dyeing it on regular skeins, and I don't know why, and I've tried multiple times. So I do have it in merino. You can see This one has a bit more of the light colour. Knit together though, or absolute dream. I was going to wear my sweater that I knit out of it a while ago, but I forgot to put it on. These I just really like. They really look nice together. It's a really good colour. It's a colour that I suit very well. So this is Diggory. I've got 5 or so skeins of mohair going in, 4 skeins of merino. Quantities are relatively sparse at the moment, just because I haven't got so much time to dye everything. But more will be coming. And then we've got some new colours and a one-of-a-kind colour. So this is a new colourway, which is kind of reminiscent of my Hansel and Gretel, but it's not quite the same. It's a bit more yellow toned and it's lighter, and this is called Toad Hall. I was kind of thinking of my Beatrix Potter collection when I dyed it. So it's really nice sort of toady greens with some really fun speckles. And I've got this, a couple of sock skeins, a couple of merino skeins, a couple of sports skeins. This one's actually a little bit damp still, so I'm going to be untwisting this and hanging it back up to dry. That's why it looks a bit floppy. Yes, that's total. And then I've got this is a one of a kind. So I'm not sure if it's a bit cruel to show it on the podcast. Maybe it won't sell on the weekend, so if it doesn't, it will be on the website. This was just like I had leftovers in a jar. Couldn't remember for the life of me what colour they were. I have sort of figured it out since, and so I just threw them on and added some speckles, and I just really love it. It's not my usual dye style, but it's really, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. It's really fun. So I asked yesterday on my Instagram what to call it, and I had a ton of like options actually, but I picked Twilight Sparkle because I just like that. So this is Twilight Sparkle. I've got a couple of skeins on sock, and then I think 4 or 5 skeins on mohair. I mean, I think this mohair would be like, would probably be really nice with this this fade, but I'm not keeping it for myself. It's going in the shop. And then last but not least, this is a colourway that I came up with while dyeing something else in my head, but I hadn't had the chance to really test it out. And I did it yesterday, and I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, maybe I don't like it, and then it dried, and I was like, oh yeah, I like it. So it's really kind of like has these like nice sort of skyish colours, I imagine, and then these kind of like peachy, bubbly, pinky colours. But I don't have a name for this, so if you've got a good name, give me one. But there's one caveat. I'm pretty sure this is going to be part of a collection I'm having in autumn, towards autumn, which I haven't told anyone what it is yet. I'm going to tell you. It's going to be called Main Character Energy, and it's inspired mostly by strong female main characters in literature. So there are going to be some Sarah J Maas, some Jennifer L. Armentrout characters for sure, nice strong female fantasy protagonists, but I'm also thinking I kind of want like maybe a Jane Austen protagonist, maybe, you know, more classic sort of literature of like these strong women. They don't always have to be physically strong to be kind of badass, and I really feel like this wants to be one of them, but I don't know which one. So if you can think, or if you feel like, oh, that feels a bit like X character, please let me know. I mean, I could just give it any old random name and release it, but kind of in my head, I want it to be part of this new collection. And I won't be showing any colours for the collection probably for a while, to be fair, but I do already have some other names and colourways brewing. So yeah, really like this one. I have on sport weight only right now. Sport weight is a 300 meter to 100 grams situation, and it's 100% superwash merino. And that, my friends, is it. I've just looked at the time. I thought this was going to be a shorter podcast, and I was incorrect. It is longer than normal, so I'm gonna say thank you and goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to read your comments on the things I've asked about. If you're in Bergen this weekend, 5th to 6th of March, I will be at the Strickener's market at Bergenshut, which will only make sense to those of you who are local, but it's free to get in. So if you want to just come by and say hey, or you want to come pick yourself up some fun skeins of yarn, I would love to see you there. So have a nice day. Thanks for being here. Bye.